Okay, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, wherever you are on this bastard planet. Now, I haven't really covered or sort of followed this. I think they're called THOT, uh, the HOT audit. I think it started with the gamers on Twitch. You know, girls who were showing off their tits and well, not the tits, but you know how girls dress up, and you know you can't miss the tits, and it's just to attract the young men and get them to um, part with their money somehow. And oh, women never use their sexuality to get anything. Oh, no, they never do. They always use their brain. Yeah, well, anyway, so I've been seeing a few, people on the net going on about it, and it's starting to hit some of these women um, in where it hurts, which is in their bank balance. And this is a result of the Me Too shitty movement. Okay, because men are now starting to wake up a little bit and seeing this is just getting out of hand. I mean, I just don't understand. A lot of men out there are literally in the West being affected by this Me Too. Actually, no. I mean, places like India, parts of Africa, you know, parts of South America. A lot of men are being um, harassed and damaged by the innocent men by this movement. So when guys are now starting to fight back and say enough's enough, because at the end of the day, YouTube has just gone out of its business, brought down a lot of these MGTOW channels, or just stopped. A lot of them are just not making any money now from YouTube, just like that. And it's because of the video that Big John had done with that ugly hag on CNN. He was promoting MGTOW, but the unfortunate thing is, obviously YouTube, had seen it and thought, and because it was reported by CNN, they couldn't miss it. And then suddenly, bang, they see it as a hate group, and started to hit these guys, um, accounts, and started to drop their whatever bloody YouTube does. So it's quite nice to see that some of these guys are now organising and fighting back and reporting these bitches who are on Twitch, and they're not reporting their earnings to the IRS. Sex workers say incel campaign to report them to IRS won't work. Really? Okay, you carry on, you fucking slags. You carry on. Let's see what happens. You've made the statement that it won't work. You keep on your business. Men's rights advocates are threatening to report sex bitches to the IRS. But is it just a new form of harassment? They don't like it. Now the tables have been turned on them. They don't like it. I just think it's great. It is. This is just something now that men are, something now that's been used against them, and exposing their nonsense. It's really nice. Webcammers at work during the annual 2017 adult entertainment conversation in Las Vegas. That was last year. Listen to this. Listen to this. Look at the way the wording. A few, really, okay. A few angry men on the internet have launched a campaign encouraging others to report sex workers to the IRS for failing to report income they make online, claiming they'll get a cut of any back taxes collected as a reward for being whistleblowers. I hope so. The campaign, dubbed the THOT audit, is circulating. Here we go. Is circulating around misogynistic men's rights and incel involuntary celibate circles. So this fucking lesbian fucking feminist bitch. Look, I make this statement to you. Feminists are my natural enemy now. When I was much younger, I didn't, in the 80s and the 90s, you didn't really use the word feminist. But as I was getting older, and I knew about the word, and I knew about it was to do with dirty lesbian women who were feminists. And you would sometimes come across these in offices where I was working, a really nasty woman who had a bit of an attitude. And I think some of the guys I used to work with would come up to me and say, "Oh, fucking old lesbian feminist," and I burst out laughing, because in some of the offices I used to work in, when I used to install systems and computers and stuff like that, you deal with some of these managers female managers are horrible. Not all of them. I mean, but if they were particularly nasty, you could guarantee they were probably, the hardcore feminists. So here we go. This feminist bitch is pissed. She is pissed. So apparently they're on Twitter and Reddit, along with a lot of anti-women, anti-sex worker rhetoric. Sure, it's cruel, but does it pose a real threat? You carry on. I'm not concerned about being reported, says Rachel, who works as a financial dominatrix, really. The IRS is not only heavily overburdened, I'd be shocked to find someone had even 1/10 of the necessary information to fill Form 3949-A, the form used to report another person for non-payment. Okay, you keep thinking that. If it makes you feel safe, you carry on. Because I'll tell you one thing, I think the IRS is like the tax system here in the United Kingdom. One of the things that I can tell you, someone said to me once, he was a guy from South Africa, he had a business in South Africa, and he left. The business, for whatever reason, folded, and he left and came to the UK. And he set up a business here in the UK, and it had obviously civil problem, and so clearly he's obviously shitty at doing business. But he was a nice guy. It's one of those things. But he said to me, "Listen, because I was looking at leaving the company and setting up my own business." He said, "Listen very carefully. There is only one thing that I'm scared of in this country, and that's the tax man." HMRC. He says that's the only one thing he's scared of. And I have to agree with him. I totally agree with him. I mean, my tax is coming up for this year, and it's December the 1st. I've got to start doing something about sorting it out before I've got just over a month. So, I mean, last year I did it, I think 5 days before it was due. But unfortunately this year I haven't. I use QuickBooks, and usually I sort of swipe for business and private, left and right and whatever. I haven't done that this year. I've literally not done anything, so I'm not sure whether I'm plugged into the QuickBooks. It's been literally I think nearly a year since I went into QuickBooks. It's been quite a long time. So I now have to go back into it, register into it, and see what year I need to sort of work from to do my taxes, and you know, to submit it, just to get it done and submit it, and then, you know, at least if you do it, it's done out of the way. You haven't got that fine to pay, which is £100. So, but and it's funny actually. I did. I got some money back, quite a bit of money, and I think that I had to pay emergency tax of about 3,200. So I put in to you know, request it back, and I got just over 2,100. No, 2,200. And yeah, I think 2,200. Or was it 2,300? No, 2,300, sorry. They had taken 900 quid out. And I thought, what was that for? You know, I thought my taxes was paid. Don't know why. I don't know why 900 quid was taken out. I thought my taxes were up to date. You know, every time I did the calculations and put it through the system, it was showing, you know, that what's, you know, the amount that I was paying. But for some reason, got hit with £900. So, you know, it's the tax can be very, very scary, especially if you're someone working on your own, you know, and you've got to do the tax every year. I think until you're 65, you know, until you claim a pension, full pension, that is. But yeah, you know, you've got to do your taxes. This is the way it is. But if she thinks, because the IRS will come after them now, so she can sit on their fat ass thinking she can carry on with their business, but these guys are going to report, because guys are now sick and tired. Whether it's one or two or three guys out there, it doesn't matter. At some point, when you piss people off and they sit around and do nothing for a while, if you keep pissing them off, they will at some point react. They will have enough. And this is the situation now. The MGTOW channels were pulled down. Many of these MGTOWs are not making any money. So now, when they react and go after these THOTs or whatever audits, Thatch audit or whatever you call them, I think someone said, let me just see what he said it was. Okay, that hoe owes taxes. that hoe owes taxes. That's what it is. So, you know, girls on Twitch are being targeted, and all these other sex workers. Good. Other women are being targeted on Twitter. They're being targeted on YouTube. But it's funny this. I've just seen I was looking at a quick video. Apparently, I'm not sure how it's confirmed. Somebody is saying that a lot of these channels, little channels on Twitter, and are men who've set up these sort of, you know, sex worker type sites where, you know, guys donate money and for pictures and porn pictures and whatever. If it's true, fine. Then they're going to get their ass kicked. But I don't care. The focus is on those girls on Twitch who are busting out their tits out of their bra. Useless gamers. Okay, and just going on Twitch there to display themselves to make money. Okay, and other sex workers are going to be reported and shut down. You know, so if they don't get them through one method, they'll get them through another. These guys are not going to stop. They're going to come after you. So if you think you're going to be sitting pretty and thinking, oh, I'll get away with it. You carry on. No problem. No problem. The presence of any kind of real threat here seems to be mitigated by people who are more interested in being granted some kind of permission to harass sex workers, she says. Boredom will inevitably set in. Really? And the thot audit campaign will be put to bed soon. Wow. Really? It's just started, you stupid bitch. You think it's going to just end in the next couple of days? This is serious business. Wesley Snipes went to prison. I think, was it something like $23 million? Now, I'm not saying that some of these bitches are going to necessarily go to prison, but depending on how much money they're owing, they'll certainly come after your ass. They'll certainly come after your ass. You know? And if you're put on that list and they have all your information, then you better hope, it takes them a long time to get to you. Christopher Kirk, a tax attorney who works with sex workers, and oh yeah, how does he get paid? And other alternative communities, agrees that this is likely an empty threat. Why is it that men never ever fully support each other? Why? Why is it that? That's one of the things I noticed when I was younger. I thought, men don't really support each other. Other men seem to shit on other men. This is the reason why this, the MGTOW and the MRI movement isn't as big as it should be. It could be even bigger if we guys just got more of us guys got together. I don't think that cam girls and other online sex workers are at very high risk of being audited as a result of this harassment campaign. This is a guy who's a wuss. The IRS requires rather detailed information from whistleblowers, including, at the very least, the taxpayer's legal name and location. While some cam girls and other sex workers may operate under the legal name, I doubt many do. Moreover, Kirk says, the service wants actionable information about significant tax issues, not guesses, and the program is not a forum for people with an axe to grind. Because the incel trolls engaged in the thot audit campaign likely have no idea whether their targets file taxes or report the income from their online work. I don't think it's likely that such reporting will actually trigger an audit. You don't know that. Fine, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Put it in, geezers. Put it in. Because I think, what's the phrase? Some of it will stick. Maybe not all of it, but some of it will stick. And if they can't get them through the IRS, I've been hearing that PayPal don't mess about. PayPal has become, because for instance, the internet marketing sites have lost PayPal a hell of a lot. PayPal has got out of that site, and I think Payzar is basically the only one. Natal and there's one or two other payment systems that are still in the internet marketing. But PayPal closed a lot of sites, got rid of a lot of sites from the PayPal website. So if you can't get through the IRS, then go through PayPal. Go through all the systems that they use to get money, and then they'll just have to use checks, which they have to put into their bank account at some point. So if if they use another account, we don't know. But the point is, it will make their life difficult over time. So it doesn't matter whether the IRS does anything or not. You know, if they don't do anything, PayPal will do something. You can guarantee. And PayPal has already shut a few sex workers' websites. Shut them down. So you see, the feminist movement has been using Twitter's report service, has been using YouTube's report service of MGTOWs and MRS's MRA sites and channels. Now it's being used back on them. They don't like it. It's now harassment. Yet, wasn't it harassment of the MGTOW channels and websites as well? You know. So, this is a war. Plain and simple. The feminist movement has now started and engaged this war. He says the best way for sex workers to protect themselves is to file taxes. Of course! File your taxes for squeezing your tits on TV, on the screen. File your taxes. Reporting their tax income as accurately as possible and keeping receipts for any business expenses so they have a paper trail if they ever get audited. Usually, we actually pay more than our fair share. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? You know, everybody pays more than their fair share. Generally, people who are actually working, going out, digging up the streets, going down the sewer system, putting up poles. And some guys pay with their lives. Since we are quite conservative about writing off business expenses, even in legal branches of sex work, says an escort bitch who goes by whatever bloody name. But the men who are participating in this mob know that the IRS isn't really coming after us. I believe their true intention is to simply intimidate women. Well, haven't you intimidated the MGTOW movement, the MRA? These are men. You're intimidating them. So when the intimidation now turned on you, it's seen as misogynistic or whatever stupid bloody name. It's now turned on you, and you don't like it. Tough. Get used to it, bitch. You will be got after. Because at the end of the day, if the IRS is not going to do anything, no problem. Just go through PayPal. Report them to PayPal. A sex worker named Faith echoed these sentiments, saying she uses an LLC to claim all of her income and pays quarterly taxes to stay up to date. I likely pay more in taxes than the individuals threatening to report those of us in this industry. That's what I find so funny about this. The entire campaign is nothing more than another thorn in my side. Oh, instead of another dick in your ass. Oh dear. You know. Or sorry, not a dick. Sorry, a dildo. What am I talking about? I mean, she's probably got one up her ass, one up her vagina. I mean, and one in her ear, probably. I don't feel threatened at all by this. Because if you're doing your taxes correctly, as you're saying, then fine, you've got nothing to worry about. No one's going to come after you. But it begs the question, if this is just another attack. Hey, there we go. There we go. Another attack on women. What's this other attack on women? What's this other, the Me Too movement, which is a heap of shit, you know, of dishonest women who won't own up to the fact that they put their asses on the director's couch. Okay, they're not going to be honest. But Pamela Anderson exposed these bitches and said, you knew what you were getting into. And she was absolutely right. Pamela Anderson knew what was going on. These women knew what was going on, and it's been going on for years and years and years and years. Dishonest bitches. The silly bitch thinks it is pointing out that even if this campaign isn't likely to get people audited, it still doesn't bode well for the overall treatment of sex workers. Who gives a fuck? Sex workers are a stigmatized group. Violence against us is often brushed off by law enforcement. So what? No sympathy for you. Then don't do the bloody job then. If you see it, don't do it. What I'm really afraid of is that this is the prelude towards an increase in targeted violence against sex workers. Oh, really? By the far right. What about the far left? Oh no, they don't. The far left, I suppose, use you more. So you're quite happy with that. Oh, Jesus. We are already seen as an accepted target of violence under the best of circumstances, and for a certain section of the people on the right. I don't know what this is. Never heard of that. Was interpreted as a call for open season on sex workers. Basically, she says the audit is fake, but the harassment is very real. Listen, they're still gonna if the audit doesn't work, they'll come after you for PayPal. Plain and simple. If you're using PayPal or any of these banks who don't feel comfortable about it, they'll get rid of it. So there you have it. Quite amusing. She suspiciously paid for everything in cash for years, and then they realised why. Really. Anyway, so this is this useless magazine. Um, you know, so I'm quite happy, really, that they're being targeted. It doesn't really matter what they say. If the IRS can't get hold of them, you can guarantee PayPal will shut your account and any other payment system you're using. So yeah, you carry on, with your nonsense and your lies and your manipulation. This is what feminists do, and these twisted, depraved bitches consistently go on about. Men, come on, you've got to realize that you are being targeted, and these bastards want to bring you down. Especially it's not the radical feminists. They're the lunatic fringe or lunatics. I'm talking about feminists. Any woman that identifies as a feminist is your enemy. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You will get into an argument with that woman. Okay. Jordan Peterson, his last GQ interview, the interview he did with GQ with that evil, ugly bitch feminist. He said that was one of the most. I don't know if it's sorry. He did. Sorry, I don't think he said it was most uncomfortable. But he said it was very, very uncomfortable. And he said that that particular woman was, from when he walked in the door and met her, he felt just hostility from her. He didn't feel there was any courtesy from her. She was just hostile with him straight from the back. So she clearly had done her paperwork, done her research, and she was gonna do her very best to bring him down. If you see the interview, it's extraordinary. I mean, he said even Catherine Newman at least was polite to him in the green room, and they spoke and they chat and they had when they came out, the moment the cameras were turned on, she switched into the interview mode and whatever, fine. But he said this woman was particularly hostile, and he told that on Joe Rogan that he was very, very uncomfortable. I mean, Joe Rogan, whatever, had this sort of admiration for her. He says, "Oh, she's a very clever woman. She really was on the ball." But the feeling that what I got from Peterson was he was not happy with that interview, which is not surprising. I mean, there was one point where she asked him a question about the lobsters, and she just came out with it straight off the bat. She said, "Oh, look, your interpretations or something about the lobsters is complete bollocks." And the look on his face was like his eyes widened a little bit as she said that, and he was looking at her with intensity, with his eyes wide open. And then so he retorted back to her reply, and then said that my interpretation of the lobster, whatever, blah blah blah, is not bollocks. So whether he knew, I'm sure he knows what bollocks means, which is men's testicles here in the UK. Extraordinary. The times that we're living in for men is just fucking shit. And this is just the beginning. The feminist movement is not going to stop until it has full control of every aspect of men's lives. There will be curfews on men. If we're not careful, 1984 is on its way. 1984 will be the full control of men by the feminist movement. Because they want this to be a matriarchal system. Plain and simple. So there you go. Yeah, so I'm glad that these women who are making money from sex, from especially on Twitch, where they're just blatantly, these girls are doing with their headphones on, their tits are hanging out, and it's outrageous. It really is outrageous. To get viewerships, just outrageous. So yeah, they're turning it back on you. Men are starting to get tired of it. Muppets. Anyway, good night, and thank you for listening.